Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Scarlet Betch. I'm Jason.
And I'm Anthony.
So I first want to apologize in advance because I'm super mondo tired. So if I don't make any sense during this video podcast, I apologize.
Don't worry, guys. I had like 5 cups of tea in the past hour, so I'll be awake and not at all loopy.
Speaking of loops, I'm going to try to transition. So let's try and catch us back into the loop because we've been away for a while, and let's talk about stuff that we haven't been talking about. I don't know. This is my tired fugue state. I'm
you know what, Jason? I'm astonished that you're trying to finish that sentence. That's like Astonishing X-Men, written by Marjorie Liu, the superstar comic scribe that I would marry.
Pretty much. Yeah. So Astonishing X-Men, which has been kind of our darling the past few months. I don't. What issue are they on right now?
They're on 48.
Okay, because I can't remember when Marjorie started, but I think it's been like 3 or 4 issues that she's been scribing Astonishing.
It's been 2.
Oh, 2? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody knows Marjorie from things like Dick and Dark, Wolverine,
X-23.
X-23. I don't know what she did. I can't remember what she did before that really put her on our radar.
She did something that got canceled again.
Yeah.
She's just awesome.
Yeah. What I love about Marjorie Liu is that she's like not like a comic book person full time. She's like a lawyer.
What?
Yeah, I was watching an interview or something, and she's like a full time professional, like high powered job. But she's like a lawyer somewhere, or it may not be a lawyer. Maybe it's like some other kind of profession. But she has like a full time job, and she only does like comic book writing on her like on the side, which I think is awesome.
So I know she writes novels. Like, that's the thing she does. So I don't know if she writes it in her spare time, because while I know she writes novels, and I've read her novels, and they're awesome and remind me a lot of X-23, just in terms of like the dynamic of the book. I don't remember her having a real job, but I also remember reading about her and thinking, like, this woman doesn't stop. Like, is her fan fiction what Marvel publishes? Because it seems like she only has time for stress relief, and what she does is write comic books for one of the 2 major comic book publishers, just to blow up steam.
Yeah.
So she's my favorite. Okay. So now we're starting again, and so I just talked about Marjorie Liu so much that I froze the computer.
Yeah, he broke the internet with his love for Marjorie Liu. But so, like, the thing about Marjorie and her writing, which I'm kind of like conflicted about, is that whenever I read her stuff, I'm like, there are only these moments where she writes that I think are brilliant, and I'm like, oh wow, that's like so wonderful. But then the other like 75% of the time, it's not that I dislike it, I just don't really feel connected to it. Like for example, a lot of the characters in Astonishing right now, granted, some of it is like I couldn't care less about Gambit or Cecilia Reyes. Like, these are characters that I don't give a shit about. And then the way that she's writing them, I'm like particularly like, well, this is kind of boring. Let's get back to the gays, Karma and Northstar, which I find more interesting in the way that she writes them. But I also felt that way about Dakin too. Like, I felt like a lot of like the pacing with Dakin, I was just like, I don't know, it just kind of, I wasn't connecting with it. But then there would be these moments where I really would, and they were really great. So,
other side of the fence, always loved Cecilia Reyes, loving her in this book.
I think. Okay, good. No, good.
And the other person you don't like is Gambit. I am the #1 president of the Gambit Haters Club. There is no Gambit story I have ever liked, except under Marjorie Liu. And it started when he was in Dakin and X-23, and I was like, oh, I don't think Gambit is a huge door for me. Like, because he is kind of filling the archetype of in her other novels, in her Hunter novels, she has like this kind of like old boyfriend type, because like the ideal boyfriend, like I feel like Gambit under her pen is more of an ideal boyfriend as opposed to like an ideal Ray, and so I connect with, I guess, desiring that more. And I like him better. Like, I think he's funny. I think, yeah, he's still a little bit of a player, but he's not like a jerk. Whereas, like, in the other books, I'm just like, you're boring. I don't understand why Rogue liked you. Why are you even here? Your accent is ridiculous. Just go away. But here I'm like, oh yeah, hang out. Him dating Celia, love it. Him dating Frenzy, love it, love it. All of it, I love it. I love all of it. And Kyle and Northstar, I love that. The lack of karma, I hate.
Yeah, well, I mean, she appeared in the second issue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Although it's weird because like her powers were like unexplicably expanding. And like, oh, I'm a telepath now. I'm like, since when did that happen? You just could possess people before. Now you can all do all kinds of weird, crazy shit.
But that's the way that comic books go, and I like it because comic characters in Marvel grow up, you know, and their powers do expand, and it's part of that is that in order to write someone, like unless you have to give them more kind of generic powers or more power to fit them in. If you want to fit someone into a storyline, you probably need different powers than they were given originally. Especially Karma, because I feel like Karma's history is a history of like, well, people like her, but I don't know what to do with someone who can possess people.
Yeah. So let's just throw bad shit at her, make her like a living hell. I feel like the way that Karma grows up is she just adds more like oppressed identities onto herself.
I was just thinking the other day about how Emma Frost is like the story of Emma Frost is a story of torturing a woman. Like, just every storyline that happens to her is about her getting more and more fucked up.
Yeah.
And, I mean, in a way, a lot of, like, what's happened to Cyclops is the same, but a lot of him is also, like, triumphing over things, I feel like.
Yeah.
Jean, like, a lot of Jean's storylines were her triumphing over things, you know? And I just feel like Emma Frost is, like, because because she's such a powerful character. The reverse of that is that she is taken down a notch.
Speaking of Jean Grey, have you been reading Avengers vs. X-Men?
I've been buying it and sort of reading it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have mixed feelings about it. Partially because I'm not a huge fan of the art, even though I know the artist is like this institution within Marvel, and I respect that. I feel like he's a legacy artist. Yeah, I mean, I think that his style makes sense for certain books, but like when I think about like a big, like,
you mean Power Pack?
Yeah, but when I think about like really big, like, you know, line wide event comics like this, I think of putting someone like Terry Dodson or Jim Chung on it. You know, like someone who has like really high, I don't want to say high quality, has a very certain kind of aesthetic that's like appealing to everyone. I feel like this artist is like very toony, which can totally work for, you know, specific kind of like stories, but I don't think necessarily works with this story. So I'm like,
What's been interesting is that the cover art is so much in line with what you just said.
Yeah, well, it's Jim Chung.
Yeah. That, okay, I was about to say the cover art is Jim Chung, but then I was like, I don't actually remember if it is. It just gives me that sense. And, and it is a little off-putting, you know?
Sidebar about Jim Chung is that, so I kind of stalk his Facebook page, and this is not necessarily a happy thing, but he is newly single, FYI. Not that he plays for our team, but I would like to think so because he's totally cute. So all of you people who are out in the who see him in cons, you have a shot in a very small percentage, but single ladies.
1 out of 1,000. It could be you. Who would? Well, I was gonna say who would leave Jim Chung, but then I was like, oh, maybe he left.
Yeah. I don't know the situation, so I don't know. But yeah, so Oh, so speaking of Avengers vs. X-Men and also kind of transitioning to Avengers Academy, so I usually tend to not buy. I don't usually like to read the kind of like the tie-in comics with like an event comics because they usually don't have that much like effect or bearing on the main plot line, and they're just kind of like filler. And I'm like, why am I buying filler? It's not very interesting.
Oh, quick question though about the event we're talking about. Do you think Jean is coming back?
No.
Me too. I wish she were because I like Jean, but at the same time, I like her being all powerful. I wish she would come back, like, in a more of a watcher sort of role, as in, like, she's continuing to influence events and just shows up and kicks a little bit of ass and then goes away. And it's all like, what's up, Scott? And then Emma's like, what the fuck you gotta show up? And she's like, don't worry, girl. And then she flies away.
Yeah, I'm just kind of I appreciate how long Jean Grey has kind of been not in the ground, but like not a main player for a while. I think that's good.
I like it in that it makes me feel like people are respecting the storyline, but I'm scared that it's because people don't like Jean Grey. Whereas I love her.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, we were gonna talk about.
Avengers Academy. So I thought it was like so the whole premise of this issue where like the Avengers basically kidnap all these children, then dump them off at the Avengers Academy, and they're like, okay, kids, make nice. And I was just thinking about how like it just like a week ago or in like the last arc. You know, the Runaways showed up and everyone's like, okay, you teen superheroes, let's all get in a room and play foosball and be nice to each other. Happy. And so like it felt like it was like the exact same thing happened again. And I'm like these Avengers Academy kids must be like, this is fucking bullshit. Like who are all these random kids coming and like this is our space and like what? Yeah.
But what issue are they on? They're on like mid-20s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like 5. They just had a class switch where they changed location and changed their student body. So this is constantly happening to them.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, yeah, they have like now 4 main characters because one of them left. So, and then everyone just rotates through. It's like X-23 is staying with us until she gets another book. Yeah, have fun. Yeah.
But the things I did like about it, one, Naked Hercules, who can, you know, be opposed to that, and very...
No one. And he was like, pants are dumb. And I was like, yes, thank God.
And
don't straighten out this bisexual hero. Don't do that. Let him be himself.
I liked how, I liked the bear reference that Stryker makes.
Yeah.
And I really liked that, what's her Power Pack girl? What's her face?
Power.
Yeah. Totally hit on Transonic, and that was kind of funny.
Awesome.
That's awesome. And also, I mean, I liked how, I think it's funny.
When Hazmat gave Loa a hug, that was the cutest thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm like, but the thing about Avengers Academy, I'm like, where's the plot in this thing? There's no arc. There's no...
They live in the Marvel universe. They don't have to have a plot. They just have to sit around for a year until the next crossover event.
It's just
all they have.
Yeah. It's just really astounding how much, like... Well, I granted, you know, it's perfectly fine for comics to have, like, very different flavors and paces, and that's totally cool. Something that DC really needs to learn, because every book that's coming out of DC right now kind of feels like the same book.
I feel like they only write one character, the solo.
Yeah.
Hero.
Yeah, that's true. But at least with Avengers Academy, I'm just like, it just feels like it feels like I'm watching Charm, you know? Like, it's like, it's a lot of fun, and there's like a monster of the week, or like, you know, and it's kind of really melodramatic, and I don't know where it's going.
At the same time, like, the premise, and why I feel like high school is such a good sort of place for a TV show to reside, is that the whole premise of high school is that it's much like prison. You're just waiting till it's over.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, you have zany adventures and do homework. Like, that's what you do. And like, there's this like veil of like, we're training you to be an adult. But like, if you're already an adult, you just sit there. And if you're never gonna be an adult, just sit there.
I also loved when Hercules is all naked and shit and like, you know, being like, oh, this is how the Olympics were. And Tigra walks up and she's like, cover yourself up. I'm like, Tigra
girl. You
Hot meat kettle, like, come on. Are you serious?
She tried to raise the point like, my fur is clothes. And I'm like,
no.
Well, he's pretty furry too.
Yeah. And if your fur are clothes, then why are you wearing like?
Why are you wearing more clothes?
Yeah, why are you wearing? I mean, like, at least like make it like, you know, at least like you could be like transonic and be like, I don't have clothes because my skin is like clothes, except sometimes I wear a purple dress.
Yeah. Okay. So what Tigra actually said was like, my fur is really hot.
Yeah.
And so wearing clothes is very uncomfortable for me. And I'm like, I would buy that if you weighed 100 pounds more. But you don't.
Yeah.
Sonic. Like, I think it was just a slip up that they put her in clothes, which is the weirdest thing to come out of my mouth ever. But I would enjoy it more if she wore clothes. Because that was more her character than like, I just like to be naked.
Yeah, I also really don't understand why Hope and the Five Lights are a team, because they never seem to like each other. They're always, like, the number of times that Hope has, like, broken Transonic's nose is ridiculous. It's like,
I love it.
Like, someone needs to be filling out some, like, workers' comp, because this is, like, actually insane.
The reason that they're a team is because they feel this devotion. When she activates your power, you become her acolyte, basically. So they are like just a dysfunctional family, is what they are. Is that like they can't be apart? But like, did they kill Kenji? Is that what happened?
I don't know what happened to that guy. I have no idea.
They must have, right? And then Sebastian Shaw. That's gonna be exciting. I love the book thing.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Mm-hmm. I just when that whole thing happened with Sebastian Shaw and like. Emma Frost erased his mind. I'm like, why? Like, why are you so stupid? Come on, guys, this is never a good idea. And like,
I mean, it was clearly a setup for bringing him into something else. But like, couldn't you just have done that like in one issue? How hard is it to do that? Not that hard.
Yeah.
Phantom X does that all the time. Yeah. So, Avengers Academy. Yeah, I like it. It's a fun little party book, I guess. I think that the characters are good. I think that the characters that come out of this, in terms of a character building ground, I think it's good. So in terms of being like a meta school, like it is actually building people for the future.
Yeah, I just wish it was going somewhere. Yeah.
Graduation, duh.
I guess speaking of graduation, so I just like finally caught up with Glee and like where that's been going, and I'm still an episode or two behind, but I just watched the Boogie Nights, this whatever
Saturday Night Fever episode.
Yeah. And I was kind of amazed by the trans character, and when I first read the press release, I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be so stupid. And I can't, and he was amazing, and I was like, you need to be on this show all the time. And like, I remember when I watched the Glee Project, and I met him, and I was like, why are you trying to like? I was like, dude, you're totally pegging yourself into this like really niche character that Glee already has two of. They already have a diva and a gay. You want to be this like black diva gay, and it's not gonna work, but it totally did, and it
totally worked. Amazing. Season 3 of Glee. This is my impression of the season 3 of Glee. Crap. Awesome. Crap. Awesome. Crap. Awesome. Crap. That was the first half. Second half. That was good. That was good. Third little bit. Awesome. Everything's been amazing. They've been so on. This last week's episode, though, oh my gosh.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so.
Oh,
Although, if freaking Quinn makes one more PSA comment about texting and doing something else, I'm going to text at her and be, shut up, bitch. Cause like, oh my god, we get it. Like,
I commented in the latest episode where she's like, I understand that no other spot in America has had so much pointless moralizing, but and then she does some more moralizing. It's awesome. I am fine with Glee being a PSA. Like, it's a story about singing in high school.
Yeah.
That is a PSA.
Yeah.
Straight up. But this past episode was really dark. Like, they've just been bringing the dark for their PSAs.
Oh, yeah?
And because they've done the thing where, most TV shows, in order to get you to watch the next week, do something devastating at the end of the episode. And that's what they've been doing in the second half of this season. That's been awesome. At least in terms of making the episodes not ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still ridiculous, to be fair, but less so. And been making it good. But it's just, they go somewhere dark. And I don't like how what the context they used the Florence and the Machine stuff that I love in. It was like, what? But going up to that episode, I was like, this song's gonna be awesome. And then I watched it, like, I'm disappointed. But everything else in the episode was...
I think that Glee has too much music.
Glee is all music now.
Yeah, no, it's too much. And I mean, I think about I've been a big fan of Smash, and I think they have a lot of new songs every week, but they also have like the recurring songs that that are part of the musical. They find different ways to like spin it, and you find new meanings in it, which is kind of like the whole point of like why theater is so like interesting, and how you can you can do revivals of things and it's still relevant because there's different takes and you find new things to resonate with. So I don't mind the reprises in that show at all. And I can begin to connect with it. But with Glee now, whenever there's just a new song, I literally fast forward through it because I can't I'm so bored with it now.
And that's the thing about Glee is that they moved to a structure that was less story focused and more music focused because that's what that's how they were finding success.
Yeah.
But, their ratings weren't necessarily blockbuster, but they consistently made money selling the
iTunes and everything. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I mean I buy Glee music.
Yeah. But the thing about it was that when Glee started, it was interesting musically because they were doing different things with it, and now it's just it's legit just copying, and there are some differences. I know in the Whitney episode there was an acapella version which is really fun, and they were and I always love the mashups, and those are always really great. But when it's just the same the Gautier song, I was that's not even I can't even tell the difference between.
The thing about the Gautier song was I was okay, it's interesting that you're doing it with two male voices. That is interesting.
Yeah. And
it's been interesting in the past when they've tried to when they've used songs as when they used the Gaga song as a proxy for the relationship between a mother and her daughter. Mm-hmm. And that was an interesting take on it. And that duet was interesting, but I don't feel I feel like Somebody That I Used to Know is such a powerful song that it's weird to use it for sibling rivalry, which is not so momentous a feeling. Mm-hmm. And I guess that because they've started trying to use the music to do all of the storytelling, there was no storytelling to back up that interpretation of the song. Mm-hmm. So I didn't feel like it really resonated. And like you said, it was a cookie cutter version, and it didn't really work.
Well, is there anything else you want to talk about in this episode?
Yes.
Yeah?
I want to talk about Teen Titans.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they're doing a crossover with Legion Lost and Superboy. And I feel like if you're putting Superboy on the team, isn't it always going to be a crossover? Yeah. A permanent crossover? But whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's this big...
Is Bunker interesting yet? I'm just wondering. Because, every time I open those books and, Skitter appears, I'm okay, I can't do this.
They are about to develop Skitter. So there is implied that there is another... So in this storyline, they've established first that Skitter, she's hosting something. Mm-hmm. So the girl and the beast are separate things, and it's like if she were to not host it, something bad would happen, I think is what they implied. And then they also just implied that there is another person that is like her who is not unintelligible.
Okay.
Who, like, forms actual sentences. And speaks with the same speech bubble, but yeah.
Yeah.
So this storyline is, I guess, hopefully gonna bring her up to like human level. But so what they've done is they're all in like a giant gauntlet. It's like they put them in the Hunger Games. But they put them in the Hunger Games with every other like teen hero. Like so it's the new 52 version of basically every teen hero you could imagine.
Oh, okay.
So they've got like Beast Boy and stuff, and a lot of them it's gonna spin out a new title is what it is. But then not every character that they've been showing you is gonna be in that new title because it's only gonna be 6 of them. And they introduced Artemis, who gained popularity through the TV show, right?
Young Justice. Yeah.
And the thing that they did was that they needed to have a death to kick off like all the characters fighting each other. And so they killed her.
Oh my god.
And it's like, on the one hand, and so my first thought was like, great, another woman in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Like, and it wasn't even like for any one person's character development. It was just like, so we have to get people to fight, so we're gonna kill her. And so me, on the one hand, I go, well, that'd be fine if you're gonna bring her back as like zombie Artemis and make her more kick-ass or something. I don't know. But then I was like, wait a second. Game of Thrones does this sort of thing all the time. The difference is that they don't heroes out about killing off their main cast. It's not just, we're only going to kill off special guest stars. It's that we're going to kill off everybody. I don't watch that show, but people tell me, they're like, it's just not the same since this main character that I like died. And I was like, you know what would have been great? If they'd killed off Peter. If they'd killed off the cheerleader. If they'd killed off every single person and just replaced them. And I feel like if you're going to kill off Artemis, who is clearly a fan favorite, and not have her in the new 52 for some unknown reason, then like, just kill off everyone, okay?
Yeah.
There are already 4 Robins. We can lose 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So that's my piece. That's where I came. That's what I was thinking about when I was supposed to be studying. Was like, why is killing characters good and bad? Because it does get an emotional reaction, which is what we read stories for, to get an emotional reaction. But I just feel like it's bad when you're only killing off a certain segment, and you're not. If you're killing everyone free for all, go ahead.
Yeah.
Create the Hand in DC. You can bring people back to life. They're just ideas.
Yeah. Exactly.
Go to town.
Oh, one more thing. Have you been watching Legend of Korra? Okay.
Do I breathe?
Okay,
Do I have to eat to function?
Okay.
These are the 3 basic questions we ask ourselves. Sleep? That's why I drink tea. But watching The Legend of Korra? Yeah. Yeah, that's why I get up in the morning, okay?
I just wanted to give it props because it's completely fulfilled every kind of like yearning that I've had since the original series ended.
People have raised points. Bending has come a long way. So it used to be you had to do a lot more to stop someone's bending, but this guy, I forget his name, Amon, can with just like 1 hand, whereas like you used to take like a lot of 2-hand effort, like then the rare bendings are really common now.
The metal bending and the
lightning. And there's a police force of metal benders. So it's like, and I could see them, like, it's interesting because from one perspective, like, maybe there's been advancements in bending, but on the other hand, like, isn't it magic? Can you make advancements in magic?
I think so, yeah.
It's an interesting question, but no, it's been amazing. What's your favorite part?
I like the Avatar, the Airbender children. I think they're awesome.
I think they're probably the best part of that series. Yeah.
I also have a big crush on Mako. So who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Everyone does. Perfect. He's the perfect boy. Yeah, he's made that way. Do you think she's gonna end up with him?
No. I don't.
Nice. Why not?
Because it's too expected. Yeah.
Did you think that Aang was gonna end up with Katara?
No, I actually didn't.
And that's why they did, because it was unexpected.
Yeah.
Do you think Katara was gonna end up with the hot firebender?
Yeah, no, because they set up this like emotional connection, and I thought that his relationship with May was fucking stupid. Sorry, but like I never thought their relationship was particularly good.
Yeah, it was like at the end, it's like a J.K. Rowling ending where they're like, "Oh yeah, let's get married."
That's what Bib is.
Yeah,
yeah,
all about the babies. Do you think he and May had babies? What did you think of that flashback where they showed everyone as adults?
I don't remember that.
So right after when Amon confronted Korra on the Airbender Island, he like he Vulcan neck pinched her, and she like fell over. She had a vision of Sokka, Toph.
I completely missed that. I completely missed that.
I'm not gonna watch that. So it was like Sokka looking grim or something. Toph like getting in. Like becoming a police officer or something. She was in a ceremony and she was in a police officer uniform. And then it showed Aang looked like in kind of a court or like an official function, getting angry, and then him like flying off, like riding the wind. So
like this is like the first time that Korra is like getting in touch with her past lives and everything. That's good.
I'm super excited about because I saw they've released like a promotional image of like Spirit Aang.
Oh yeah,
I am so excited for Spirit Aang.
I just actually want I want like Katara to come back and kick some waterbending ass because she.
But she an old lady.
Yeah, but like we've seen some old lady waterbenders that were pretty awesome. So just saying.
I'm pretty sure that next full moon. She's gonna show up, or at least like a full moon at the end of the season, definitely. Because so like the first book is air, right? So she has to learn airbending. What's the next book gonna be?
Well, it was really only going to be a mini series, and then they like expanded it. So I'm not sure what they're gonna do.
What is it? Lightning,
metal.
She hasn't used either of those yet.
There is this hilarious Avatar forum, and it's just all kind of like. It's like a role-playing forum, and so people have been creating all these different kinds of bending that are just kind of stupid, like light bending, which is fine, but shadow bending, which is stupid, and like
light bending.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's also like animal bending. I'm like, that's even more stupid. Like, come on, people, like. Really? Animal bending? Okay, that's just like...
The only thing I think of is like taking a dog and going like, woo!
Yeah, I was like thinking like... Yeah. Well, that wraps up this issue of Scarlet Betch. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll be sure to kind of catch you up next time.